Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Double D's
Double D's
Lovecast. I'm Damon.
I'm Desiree, and this is Life Therapy.
She's a little rusty today.
A little slow. I got my cup of coffee.
Okay, so today's topic is going to be a very, very important topic. We're going to be talking about sex. Okay, we talk about sex all the time because it's super important in a relationship. And at the very end of this, we're going to have date questions. So you can ask these questions on your next date and find out more about your spouse and what they're into and what they would like more of and how you can improve it. So we got some date questions at the end of this. So pay close attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to be talking all about sex in this video. Yeah, baby. Okay, so like you guys hear me say all the time, okay? If you ain't having sex on a weekly basis, you don't have a relationship, okay? You have a roommate, okay? A co-parent, okay? Without sex, you basically just got a friend. You got a buddy, right?
Yeah, so what are you guys doing to connect? Like, where is your intimacy? Because that is a huge thing for a lot of people. And there's a lot of things that get in the way. And that's why, like, for instance, you have to schedule, you have to make time.
Yeah. So we're going to give you some kind of insight into that too. So, and just so you understand this too, there's some things that lead to sex that a lot of people don't realize, but there's been some studies that have been done. And some of the studies that discovered the couples who have the most sex, here's some things that they all have in common. Okay. They say, I love you. Okay. Every day. Okay. They show affection every day. Okay. And they kiss, hello, goodbye. They're basically just more connected on a more physical level, and they tend to have the most sex. So
yeah. So question is for you guys, do you do the morning kisses or the hello, goodbye kisses and hugs? Or you just be like, later, see you tonight.
Yeah. Like we see each other like back and forth, like all day, every day. And every time we see each other or we are,
we still kiss hello, even though I saw you an hour ago.
Yeah. Hello and goodbye. And we see each other multiple times. I'm talking like in and out all day long, because we're both doing separate things all day long. So we still do it and then even when we're in the gym training clients, she'll be standing there training her girls and I'm booty grabs all day long and come up behind her and give her hugs and things like that. Cause that's just, do the same thing at home when we're in the kitchen. But it's very, very important that you guys do that. Okay. Now, one of the things that you always hear us talk about too, and this is something that we do pretty regularly too, because it's when couples are really busy. When couples are really busy with kids and things like that, what do they need to do, babe?
You need to schedule it. Make time. You have to be intentional for sure, because like we get up early every single morning to train our clients, and he gets home. I mean, we train our clients basically the opposite time of you guys, working. So we have our middle of the day really open. And so like we get up early and he gets home after 7 o'clock at night. So it's still like we're exhausted by the time the night comes.
Totally.
And that's honestly the last thing that we really want to do is have sex and put in energy, because we're just like, I just want to like take a shower and totally decompress. Like, so for you guys, because you aren't going to have, where you have the middle of the day, because you guys do work, regular jobs, is you're going to have to probably sacrifice some sleep, honestly. Like, and I would do it in the morning if I had to choose.
She loves morning stuff.
I mean, because I'm too tired by the end of the day. So I don't want to I'd rather wake up early.
I'm kind of any time of day kind of person, but but I prefer lunch or early evening for me personally.
Yeah, you know what? Meet your spouse for lunch if they go to work, even if you work. If you're if you're close by each other, like to schedule, like, okay, guys, we're going to have lunch on Tuesdays, together. We're going to meet up. If you're close enough to your house, meet up at your house, have lunch. And, have lunch in quotations there, have a bedroom lunch date. But shoot, maybe spice it up. Do it in the backseat of your car. Live a little, guys.
Yeah, one time we met up for lunch when she used to work a job, and and I met her for lunch, and we went to a Target parking lot. No joke. Backseat, Target parking lot. So, but anyway, schedule it. Okay, scheduling sex it's very, very important. So, so most people, like my best friend, him and his wife been together like 22 years. Okay, and think about that. They're like our age. They've been together 22 years, and that's one of the things that Friday is their day, right? And they've been doing that for 22 years, right? So Friday is their date day, and then they go home and they have sex, right? That's literally their routine every single week. And 22 years, guys. Clearly it works.
Yeah, I think if you know what to expect, it makes it a little bit easier. That's my own opinion, but you definitely have to schedule it for sure to like make it happen to where you guys are doing it like multiple times a week. Mm-hmm. And that's something that you should talk about with your partner is like, how many times a week do you want it? And so when we do our paired app that we've talked about all the time, that, one of the things that they had this week that they asked us was a whole questionnaire about like sex. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like, well, how many times a week do you want to have it? Honestly, what's your favorite position? I mean, there's so many different things. And so like it forces you to say these things because it could be like a really awkward conversation for a lot of people too, if you're not very open sexually. Mm-hmm. So the app is really awesome because, you're doing it on your own cell phone. You're not like you're talking about it. So, cause every time we talk about stuff like in person, like on our date days, it's like, well, why? What do you like most about that? How does it make you feel? Like, he's like, one of those people that asks like a bazillion questions. Mm-hmm. I'm not that type of person. And so that's what you'll learn too, is there's always usually going to be like your relationship like that. Cause opposites attract. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big talker. That's why the majority of these podcast episodes are Damon talking is because he loves to hear himself.
I'm a talker. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So schedule it. So pick a day that could be part of your conversation on your date this week. Like what day could we do where we could schedule it? For most of you guys, it's going to be like a Friday night or a Saturday night, or a Sunday night. It's going to be a weekend day for most of you guys. Cause most of you guys are working jobs and, you're going to be exhausted by the end of the day. So trying to do it during the week just probably ain't going to work. But lunch dates may work too,
Lunch dates or morning sex, go to work late one day. I mean.
Totally. Now, here's another little rule that I like to live by. And this is actually something that was one of the reasons why I married Des. Okay. Des, and this, I call this 100% closing. Okay. Des.
I'm an easy sale, guys.
Does not turn down sex ever. she's 100% closer. She doesn't care if it's in the morning, if it's at night. She don't care if it's backseat of the car. She don't care if it's a lifeguard tower at the beach. She's down. Okay. And that was one of the reasons why I married her, was because she was, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in relationships where maybe the partner wasn't on the same page sexually. Right. And she was always the one that she's down for whatever, whenever, and she'll never turn it down. Right. And then on top of that, she also is a huge initiator, right? Listen up, ladies, because guys hate always being the initiator. All right. So that was a huge reason. One of the million reasons why I married her. Okay.
Sounds fabulous.
Because she's 100% closer. So I want you guys to adopt the rule and the standard in your relationship and have this conversation with your spouse. Like, look, from now on, we're going to make a pact and we're going to make a rule. We're going to make a promise that we have 100% closing. So no matter who initiates, no matter how tired you are, no matter what's going on, it happens. Okay. So, because
even if it's just like a quick penetration, guys.
Yeah. Even if it's just like bing, 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 bing.
I mean, lock yourself in the bathroom. If you got like kids that annoy you and run around, like lock yourself in the bathroom for 5 minutes.
Yeah, totally. Totally. So, and then the other thing is too, is, even though we were talking about scheduling it and being 100% closers and things like that, don't look at sex as like another task that you have to do. You need to in your mind see it as like your opportunity to have some playtime and some connection and a way to escape the stresses and the challenges of life. It's your time to get away and just have some fun have some pleasure, right? It's just it's playtime, right? So like whenever you're kids and you want to go outside and play, well, this is adult playtime. Okay. So and then for you fellas listening up, okay, here's a little it's so funny that she just said that because she didn't even realize that that's what I was doing, but she does now know what I'm doing. But anyway, when it comes to women, okay, women, one of their most basic needs in a relationship is to get their emotional needs met, right? Now, for women, sex is primarily a physical reward for an emotional bond, right? So if you find that your woman doesn't want anything to do with you sexually, it's because she hates your ass, okay? Because she hasn't been getting her emotional needs met, because she hasn't been able to talk to you, to express herself to you, to be able to vent, get things out without you reacting, getting angry, frustrating, exploding, being an asshole and arguing, things like that, right? So when she's not getting her needs met, she don't want nothing to do with sex.
Okay? And we've been there, you guys. We've been there.
Yeah. Yeah, we both hated each other. Neither one of us wanted to have sex. So we've been there, okay? But just know that it's a physical expression of an emotional bond for women. And ladies, for your men, you got to understand this too. Not only is sex like a very sex is super important to men. It's like breathing, right? It's like a need for us. Like we need sex. Like you need to breathe. Okay. And on top of that too, when you're in a marriage, a way a man feels appreciated, wanted, respected, and valued is actually through his physical connection with his wife. Right?
I honestly think that men, they love it and they want it so much because they like to be cared for, because I think that it actually reminds them of their childhood with like having a mother.
That's kind of gross, babe.
I know. I'm not saying like they think of their wife like sexually, but
nurturing.
Just
Yes, probably. Yeah,
so,
there's some nurture and some care and some connection there. Absolutely.
Yeah, they want to be taken care of. Like they want you to cook them a meal. They want you to hug them and love them and do all these things, and of course, obviously have sex. But I think that's just part of the nurturing and being cared for, because it just makes them feel good. It fills up their love meter. It makes them feel wanted.
Totally.
Totally.
And it's how the man feels loved and appreciated in a relationship, right? So if you ladies are like the ice queens and you're always rejecting your man, and maybe he don't even try anymore because you reject him so much. If you're like an ice queen, and that's basically like you punching him in the balls, right? And slapping him in the face over and over and over and again. How many times do you think he's going to keep coming to that? Right? So,
and I have something for you guys. So, and I think I might've said this like a few episodes ago, but you can't use the headache excuse anymore, ladies, because guess what?
This helps a headache.
Having sex actually will take your headache away.
Yeah. So don't work.
Yes, because it's going to build up that serotonin in your brain. Same thing if you're ever hungover.
And oxytocin.
Yep. Hungover, sex, workout actually makes you feel 1,000 times better.
Yeah. So if you got a headache, have sex.
That's right.
Now, here's something for you guys to keep in. Now, I was talking about the fellas. If your woman doesn't want to have, she's not open to sex, it's because you're not meeting her needs, right? So you need to do better having deeper conversations with her, which is good. These questions we're going to give you at the end will help you meet those emotional needs, okay? Because this is going to give you some opportunities to have deep conversation. But when it comes to ladies, if your man is not initiating, okay, here's a few reasons why he's not. Number one, like I said a minute ago, you've been ice queen, and he's tired of being kicked in the balls and rejected, okay? So when he's been rejected so many times, he's eventually just going to stop altogether. Okay. So if he's not initiating, it's because he's been rejected too many times, or it could be something on a more physical level, like he has low testosterone levels, right? Like if he's overweight, right, and his diet is garbage, his testosterone levels are right. So he's got no libido. Okay, he wants nothing to do with sex. Which is also could be a sign he has heart issues too, right? And both of these things can lead to a little sexual performance anxiety. Okay, so he may not be able to, you know what I'm saying? So he may be afraid to initiate because he's afraid his little man won't work, right? Which is super embarrassing. So
Well, it's super embarrassing that you just called it a little man. Everybody wants to be like a big man.
Yeah, if your big man ain't working, right, then it could be because of those factors. But if he's okay, then it's because he's been rejected too many times. But just giving you a little heads up on why that is. So if that is his issue, he just needs to get healthier and he'll be good. Okay. Have him reach out to me on the side and then I can teach him some tricks. So how to change that and increase those testosterone levels.
I would say, I don't know what type of tricks you're going to teach him, but I can just see you guys on like video chat right now. And I'm picturing this in my head, like you're trying to show him some tricks.
No, not those kind of tricks.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm glad that you like kind of clarified that up a little bit.
So, and then here's another little tip for you men. Okay. Here's some little sexual tips. Okay. For you guys before we get into the questions. All right. Here's rule number 1 when it comes to sex, guys. If you always make it a priority, and I know most of you guys are like this naturally, but if you always make it a priority to always make sure she's taken care of, if you know what I mean, okay, meaning she finishes every time, okay, if you always make that your goal, she's likely to never to turn it down, okay? So always keep that in mind. So
truth, guys, truth. Because there's a lot of times where the guy finishes and the chick's like, that's it.
Leaving her hanging.
Really?
Yeah. So so make sure you take care of her first, right? So and the hack to this, boys, get a vibrator. Okay. If you need some tips on this, I got lots of them I can recommend. Okay. So that's the hack to this. Okay. And then ladies, when it comes to you, okay, like I was telling you guys a minute ago, if men love when women like initiate. Okay, we love that. Okay, because men hate always being the initiators. So here's some tips that you can do to kind of initiate it in a very, very subtle way, not so easy way, to where, you know, because for her, she's very like just
let's
vocal.
Go.
Yeah, she's just like, let's get it in.
Let's go.
I'm like, okay, let's go. Like she'll just grab me and let's go get it in. Like hers is very, very just upfront and just boom, like let's go. But some of you may not have.
Hey, we're on a time schedule, guys.
Yeah. So
I don't waste time.
So some things that you could do when for your man throughout the day, so that way he kind of knows and you've kind of already initiated.
You can sext him. Mm-hmm. So give a little foreplay through sexting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally. So here's some little tips that men love. And I'm gonna tell you guys that men love this shit. Okay. Send him a photo when he's at work. You know what I mean? Send him a photo of a little something sexy, okay, when he's at work, and just be like, when you come home, we need to have some fun, right? And trust me, he's going to come home, he's going to be speeding home. Whoa! Like, he's coming home fast, excited. He's going to jump in the shower, you know, like, so that way he's clean. Oh, yeah, now with that said, which reminds me too, I forgot to add this to my bullet points, my points today. But anyway, so ladies, sexting, send them, you know, a little text message, little hot text message, send them a little photo, you know.
Tell them how guys are usually spicy. So visual.
Yes, men are visual, ladies. Very, very, very visual. So if you show him things like, whoop, brr, like yep. It's.
You remember that scene in Pretty Woman when Julia Roberts is sitting at the table naked, just wearing a tie? Mm-hmm. Like something like that, mm-hmm. Right? That's just saying exactly what you want and you're going to get it done.
Yeah. So men are visual. Okay?
Be sexy.
Yes, be sexy. So, but
even if you're awkward sexy, that's okay too, because
totally.
that's like just funny and that's who you are. And like if your partner knows if you're already like awkward when it comes to stuff like that, it's even better.
Yeah, ladies, men are very simple. We really only need 2 things in life, like feed us and have sex. Like just literally just bring food and be naked. Like we're good. Like that's all you need to do, and we're good. Like we'll move mountains. Okay, we're super simple. But anyway, now back to the men. Let me give you a little tip here, because I've heard this on numerous occasions. The other day I made a post on Facebook and I said, ladies, what are some things that totally turn you off about men? And the majority of the comments were the same. Okay. And I made this exact kind of video on TikTok last year and it went viral. Okay. Viral. And it was the same answer. Okay. So, and it was talking about hygiene, and it was like, and I asked the ladies basically like, what is it about men? What are some things about men that turn you off? Right. And hygiene was the number one most commented thing on both of those posts that I had. I had a viral TikTok video and I had a post on Facebook that went kind of a little mini viral too. And the majority of them were saying hygiene. So fellas, take a motherfucking shower, okay? Wash your butt and your balls. Okay, we gotta go there. I mean, your mama should have taught you this whenever you were 7, right?
But I'm actually surprised to hear this.
Me too. I'm like, how do you guys not know this?
How many of you guys are with some stinky mofos, man?
Right? I'm like, I shower all the time, especially before we get it on. I'm like fresh out the shower.
Yeah, I don't like to be touched by him anyways, or his skin, because he lathers up his body with coconut oil, like he's like Fabio or something. And it's just like, it's like a slip and slide.
Yeah, totally.
And it's just gross. So like I don't like oil.
But I'm always so like even like on our days that we have sex, I always hop in the shower first.
There's nothing better than a guy that smells delicious, I have to say.
And same thing, like if we, on the weekends, whenever we go out and party, we go out to clubs, we go to festivals, whatever, and we're going to go back to the hotel room and get it on. That's always the first thing that we do. Shower first. Boom. So dudes, I shouldn't have to say this, but clearly your mama didn't. So
wash your balls.
I'm going to say it for you. Wash your balls, fellas. Wash your asses. Get clean before you try to initiate sex with your ladies, because it's pretty sad that I'm even hearing this from grown-ass women. That's their number one complaint. So you need to always smell good, okay? Smelling good turns your women on, just like she just said a minute ago, okay? So, but anyways, I wanted to cover that. Now that we got all some of the most basic things down, okay, let's do a little recap real fast so that way you guys remember. Just remember, if you ain't having sex weekly, you ain't got a relationship, okay? Be
Time
affectionate.
to start dating your roommate again, guys.
Start dating your roommate. That's a good one. Make sure you're affectionate. You're kissing. You're saying I love you. You're doing all these things each day, right? And schedule your sex days, okay? The next thing, make a little pact, 100% closing, okay? I've been getting lots of messages from you guys that have actually been hearing us talk about the sex. We talk about almost every episode. That you guys have, and it's coming from women. I'm getting a lot of messages from women that have started taking sex more serious in their relationship, and like, oh my God, relationship's so amazing. Oh my husband is so much happier. Our relationship's better than it's been in years, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to tell you guys, okay? Sex is very, very important in a relationship. So 100% closing, okay? That's the Desiree law. Okay, 100% closing.
No excuses, ladies or men.
100% closing. And then let's see. Make sure that you're not seeing it as like a task. Make sure you're seeing it as something that it's fun. It's
going to be fun, enjoyable. A time for you to connect with your partner.
Fellas, spend more time emotionally connecting and meeting your woman's emotional needs, and she'll be more open to sex and initiate more often. And then also, let's see, let's recap this. And ladies, remember, you can initiate this too. Text messages, some sexting, some photos, when he comes home, just be naked, right? With a tie on or, something like that, do something like that. And the hacks to always taking care of your women first, using one of those. And that pretty much sums up everything we talked about. And wash your balls, boys. Okay.
Yes. Ladies too. Ladies, you guys aren't free from taking care of your hygiene. Take care of yourself. Most of you girls are pretty good, I'm sure. But just in case, both of you just take a shower, okay, beforehand. Okay, just so you both you're in good standing. So we always do too. So, and let's get to the questions. Here's the date questions for sex, guys. You go ahead and start with number 1. Think about the times we have had sex. Which ones are your favorite and why? What made it your favorite?
So it's question 1. So I'm going to have these questions in the description, right? So that way you guys can actually see these, so you can screenshot it, you can save it, and, ask it on your next date, okay? Number 2, what turns you on? You may find that it's something that you may not be aware of, or something that you may know, but it'll validate it. Right? Or maybe to be something that you kind of completely unaware of that you haven't been doing, right? So next question, babe.
How can I enhance our passion?
I like that one. Next one. What is your favorite way for me to let you know I want to have sex? Right? Like Desiree's is like, she just grabs me and says, let's get it in. For me, I'm more of a, I usually wouldn't, she can tell probably by the way I touch her. Right, like there's just a way that like I'm just like caressing her. It's just kind of
like a passionate like
there's
hand grabs.
There's like a I want some of this like coming. You know, I think and same thing for her. I can also feel that when she grabs me like that too. I'm like, ooh, she horny right now. It's time. So so sometimes it doesn't even take words like a verbal expression. Sometimes it's just a touch, right?
Yeah.
So
speaking of that, so the next question is, where and how do you like to be touched?
That's a good one.
Some people they like booty grabs and their back caressed or a massage or something like that.
Totally. Number 6, what is your favorite time to have sex? Why? And what is your favorite position? Right?
That's a good question.
And this may change over time. Okay. So keep that in mind. So it would be, this would be nice to ask this question every so often because, it could change over time.
I think definitely when you start having sex and more sex, because I think at the beginning, people are just doing plain old like missionary style. And when you start having more sex and you start getting more comfortable with each other, you're just going to want to like start trying new things. So yeah, so definitely your positions and stuff like that are going to change over time.
Yeah, totally. And number 7, what is something sexually you've wanted to try but never asked? This could be a really, really deep conversation right here. And the next one which is the second part of that question, is how often would you like to have sex? So we actually asked this question like a while back, and we pretty much came up with, it's pretty much the same thing. About 3 times a week is what we agreed is great for the relationship. So, and then last one, babe.
What can I do to make our sex life better?
That's a good one. So these questions right here are excellent, but I would actually, before you guys even get to these questions, I would recommend men doing the other 2 podcasts, because we had date questions on those 2 before you get to this one. So, because those other 2 are pretty important as well too, before you actually get to the fun and spicy stuff like this one here. So anything else you'd like to add this episode, babe?
The only thing I want to add is, in the end, all you want to do is to make sure that your partner feels loved. Like they're your number one. So you can do that in so many different ways. People just want to know that they are like, you're invested in them. So just make sure that your partner is a priority over everything else. Don't put your partner off for friends. Don't put your partner off for the kids. Always make sure that you take care of your partner first, because what do they say? Well, happy wife, happy life, right? So same thing with your man. Make sure that you just take care of your man, ladies. So
totally. Yeah. And like I was saying a minute ago, men are pretty easy, ladies. Like, we're really easy. Like I said, just bring food and be naked. And I swear we're going to move mountains for you. Okay. I swear we're so simple. So,
let's just make, I don't make you food.
That's because I cook my own, but yeah. She doesn't need to bring me food. I make my own, but we're really easy. So we're super simple. But yeah, that pretty much sums up everything we wanted to cover in this episode. So we're gonna wrap this up. So we will see you guys next time.
Bye guys.